All right, let's get into this. One of the issues kind of going under the radar. There's a group called BRICS, the BRICS Coalition. They held a 3-day summit in South Africa, and really this summit raises a lot of questions for U.S. international diplomacy. For those of you who may not be aware, BRICS stands for and represents Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And they have formed an alliance to challenge U.S. powers. And among the many headlines that were generated by the summit this week, probably the most notable announcement is that they have additional countries coming on board with them. Play clip 3, please.
We have decided to invite the Argentine Republic, the Arab Republic of Egypt, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates to become full members of BRICS.
Wow, well, that was South Africa's president making the announcement. So what does all this mean for the United States? And, you know, really the bottom line is the United States losing its appeal thanks to the actions and the policies of this administration. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Dr. Dave Brat. He's previously a member of Congress, and now he serves as the Dean of the Liberty University School of Business. Dr. Brat, always wonderful to see you. Welcome back to Washington Watch.
Congressman Heiss, great to be on with you, Jody. God bless.
Well, likewise to you, my friend. All right, let's start off with some of the background on BRICS. Probably many of our viewers and listeners heard about BRICS perhaps for the very first time as we come into this segment. So what is the BRICS Coalition, and what are their goals?
Yeah, well, you had the setup right. It's a reaction against the overreach of the United States. And finally, we've gone too far. We're $50 trillion in debt. And when the rest of the world is seeing your higher interest rates and the probability that you might not pay off your debt in the future, they say, not sure about this. Plus, we have inflation at 9% last year, which devalues their money. If they're holding dollars, their dollars are being devalued. Why would anybody want to do that? So now you have the BRICS, like you said, plus 20 other countries lined up to take advantage of American weakness. And what's really going on here is this, we're debating the loss of our global reserve currency. There's been only 5 of those in the past 500 years. It started off 1500, you had Portugal and Spain, and then you had the Netherlands lost theirs, and then the French Revolution, they lost theirs, and then England lost theirs through World War I and World War II. Why did they all lose them? Well, the proximate cause was war. They lost their currency regimes because they went to war. But of course, the real cause was they lost the economic engine which could support their empires and support their wars. Does that sound familiar to you? I think it does, wow. Right? We're $50 trillion in debt, at war with Russia through the Ukraine. The American people have no idea why we're there. A bunch of young Christian men in the Ukraine are being slaughtered daily. And so that's a brief intro. And then the one other thing I ought to say is the reason you ought to take this serious is because no one's going to put $1 into China, right? Everybody, you're not going to park your money in China or Russia or Brazil, but they're coming together and they're going to form a gold-backed currency and combine it with blockchain technology, which provides total privacy and a complete record of all transactions. If you put all that together, you have a valid currency that's going to maintain its strength because of gold, and you don't have to worry about security because of blockchain. So it is a real threat. It's a signal to the U.S. to get our act together. I don't have much confidence that we are going to get our act together, but this is what's the natural consequence of our dereliction of fiscal duties over the decades.
Yeah, and it's, the fact that you mentioned 20 others, the president of South Africa just mentioned 6 who are going to be coming on as full members. The expansion of this coalition itself is frightening. It seems rather inevitable where this is going to end up, doesn't it?
Yeah, the U.S. is clearly losing our authority on the world stage, right? We set up the Bretton Woods liberal world order back when liberal was a good word. It meant basically a rights regime, like we have in our Declaration and Constitution. And we protected the world as long as they would help us fight against the Soviet Union back then, the communist threat. Well, the world has changed significantly. Now China is our biggest threat. And we are just ill-equipped, right? We're doing woke stuff in the military. We're 50 trillion in debt. We have an open border. The kids can't read in the third grade. And the Federal Reserve has ruined our economy over the past 20 years, right? We had the 07, 08 financial crisis. And now we're trying to work our way out of another bubble. And
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, right along those same lines. You mentioned the woke. I don't know if you caught this, but the BRICS announcement came the very same day that our Agency for International Development, you said, it released its comprehensive LGBTQIA plus guidelines. So it's not just the horrendous shape of our economy, but the United States keeps pushing this wokeness on other countries. And aren't we pushing people away? These other countries don't want our woke ideology, and we're really pushing away countries that otherwise ought to be our allies, don't you think?
Yeah, no, that's right. We're having a CEO summit at Liberty October 10 to 12. We're hosting a bunch of African delegations from Nigeria, DRC, et cetera. They're scratching their heads along the lines you just said. They don't know what's going on with this U.S. initiatives. And of course, this tracks the greater concern, the LGBT alphabet pronoun stuff is a sign of a Wall Street Journal poll a few months back, which showed that the United States is losing our religiosity and we're losing our patriotism, both down 30 points in the last 5 years. That's not a typo. Religiosity, the Judeo-Christian tradition, which grounds and is the total foundation. It's the unique claim that we're all made in the image of God, and that set of minimal rights needs to be protected in law, and it has been. That is now in question in the West.
Dr. Dave Brat, I've got to let you go there, but thank you so much for your tremendous insight, which we had all evening to share with you. God bless. Have a great weekend.